Hello, it's me again. Hello and welcome to the Woolyknits podcast, knitting, anything yarny, that crafty podcast. I'm Pip, and this is the second episode. Didn't think I'd get here, didn't think I'd get past the first one. I suppose I got the first one under my belt now, but made lots of mistakes. I noticed with the editing where I put some words up, they're way late as to where they should be. So I must do better this time. I shall try. And a correction from last time, I said Rebecca Clow when it should be Rebecca Clow from the Crayer Bear Knitting Podcast and designer, knitting designer. And I also called the cowl that I showed the Chargill when it is the Cargill. So that's my corrections from last time. Don't think anything else stood out, but so right, I'm going to follow my notes because otherwise I'll just be all over the place and won't know what I'm doing. So what I'm wearing the Tolsta Tee, which I think everybody has done. Alterations to this, I just made the sleeves longer and the body longer. The rest of the pattern is exactly as Rebecca wrote it. I just, yeah, as you get older, I don't like my tops of my arms. So I took it to the elbows and I took the body a bit longer to try and hide the tummy a bit. And this one is the 4-ply because I think she brought out, I think the DK was first and then the 4-ply. And this one's in the 4-ply and it was knit. I had a cone of Woolyknits cotton I ordered in black, and the first cone that came through I wasn't very thrilled with. There was lots of white bits in it, which obviously where it had gone through the mill had picked up white cotton bits from what was spun before, I take it. And I thought well, if I knit with it, maybe as I get further down it would be better, but then I thought maybe it'd be worse because obviously the inside of the cone is what comes off first. So it would wind on there first, wouldn't it, and then work its way out. So I was sort of like, are there going to be more white bits on the inside or not? So I ordered another cone, but not Woolyknits' problem. They dispatched on time. It was the postage. I think it got lost with them. Whilst I was waiting for that to come, I was itching to cast on. So I thought I'll blow it. So I cast on with the first cone that I'd bought. And it was fiddly, but I just got tweezers and picked the white bits out, and it's fine now. I got rid of all the white bits, and I've got the other cone of cotton, which I'll probably keep for next summer's knitting. I wear a lot of black. I do like black. I'm trying to wear more colours, but I was a hairdresser for years. I know it doesn't look like it because I don't bother anymore. In fact, I put a colour on this morning and I left it on, went off hoovering and doing things, and the timer went off, and it was just, I carried on doing what I was doing before I got in the shower and washed off, and it took up the colour a bit grey. So hey ho, it'll lighten. It never worries me because you can always change it and wash it out and put something else on. I just wash it and let it do its own thing half the time. So many years of having to do my hair. I'm talking about hair instead of knitting. So many years of having to do my hair to have it looking just so for in the salon, and now it's just like, and I'm out walking the dogs in all winds and weather. So yeah, if you're going to plonk a hat on or get rained on it, so just let it do its thing. Anyway, I digress. So what was I saying? So yeah, I knit this, and then I thought this was nice in the summertime being in cotton, and I thought I'd do one in the DK. So for now, really, for autumn time, for autumn winter. And so I'd bought this yarn at Wonderwool. I bought it to do the half and half wrap, then realised when I got home I'd bought double knitting rather than 4-ply, so I just put it in my stash and got more from Malmus of 4-ply. And I thought, oh, I haven't got a green top, make a change. So this one is Poldale. Again, I went to say Poldark. Poldale DK in forest green by Crafty Lady, Atlas yarn. And again, I did the sleeves the same length as this one, so it's a bit longer on the sleeve, and the body length a bit longer. And again, I'm really pleased with it, and it is that bit warmer. Sorry, oh, not quite comfy on this seat. So it is a bit warmer for this time of year now, and I can obviously wear it with the cardigan as well, and it looks all right with the black cardigan over the top of it. So that's that one. That's the Tolsta Tee, and just checking my notes. Yeah, and then my cardigan is the Copenhagen cardigan. Put myself tidy. It's the Copenhagen cardigan by Petite Knit, and this one's done in black again, in Drops Flora and Drops Kid Silk held together. And I'm pleased again with the way this came out. It was a nice pattern to knit. I think it was the first Petite Knit pattern I've knitted. There's quite a few of hers in my queue that I like, that I've got saved on Ravelry. Some of the cardigans as well. But yeah, I chose this one because I wanted the round neck and not a V-neck. But it came out all right. It's nice soft fabric. I was pleased with the two yarns together. It does turn in a little bit on itself, even though I've blocked it. I haven't done the buttonhole. She does an after buttonhole, but I haven't bothered because I don't think I'll do it up. But I did put buttons on it. I had the buttons, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons. Excuse me a sec. I don't know why when I talk I get a tickly dry throat. It's not like I'm not used to yakking a lot. Mum seemed to keep buttons and has got jars upstairs with buttons in, and I've always kept buttons. I've always picked buttons up if I've been somewhere and I've seen them that I like, and I've kept them if I've thrown old cardigans out. I've always cut the buttons off and kept them if they're worth keeping. But these are just little plastic blobby buttons, which I thought sat all right on it. So yeah, that's the Copenhagen card, and it does go quite nicely over this little t-shirt, because you know with black, you say black, but then you get sort of grey blacks, and yeah, you know, they've all different. You've got black, real dark black, and then you've got the lighter blacks, and some of them have got a bit of a browny hint to them, and some of them have got a bit of a grey hint to them, but these two seem to match quite well, luckily. So that's what I'm wearing, and that's the Tolsta Tee. And then let's stick to my notes, because otherwise I'll get lost, don't get distracted. Socks again. Trying to, like I said last time, finish the second sock to all my single socks that I've knitted. I pulled these out, and gosh, I knitted this quite a while ago, this one. the yarn is the Vanilla Sock by Crazy Sock Lady. I use her pattern probably, I think 90%. I think I've only done one or two that hasn't been her pattern. It fits me. It suits my foot and it fits me. I'm flat-footed, so I've got horrible feet. And this pattern fits me, you know, snug. It's lovely. What am I saying? Oh yeah, the yarn. So I'm doing the second one, and this went away for a little bit as well because I ran out, or I nearly ran out of the fluff, and I can't get any more. I've tried and it seems like it's a discontinued colour. They seem to still do the yarn, which is the Fibre Spats Cumulus. The colours, this one is called Thistle. And so I thought, right, I'm going to have to find something else. And so I thought I'm going to put this one. It's a different shade. It's obviously going to be brighter, but it's the toe and it's my sock, so I don't mind. And I think this part of the, well, it's handmade. If we want it all perfect and match, you might as well buy shop made, don't we? Machine made. So anyway, it's only, nobody's going to see it except for me. If I'm wearing it out, it'll be inside a boot. And so I'm going to use that instead. That's as close as I could. I could probably find closer if I did hunt around, but I thought that'll do. I'm happy with it. And the yarn, the sock yarn, is remember now the name, Kaz, that used to be the Wee So and So. It was one of her yarns. I am 99% sure it's one of her yarns. I can't find the label for it, but I'm sure it was one of Kaz's. And she seems to have stopped, because it was the Wee So and So, and she had the podcast, and then she changed to Gardener's Cottage yarns. And I looked on Etsy now just before recording to see, and I can't see anything on there. So I think, unless she's changed the name again, and I don't know, I think she stopped dying, and she certainly stopped doing podcasts for quite a while now. Whether she'll come back again, I don't know. She had some bad news. She lost her husband, and she did do 1 or 2 episodes after that, but I don't know. Anyway, so I don't think it's an indie dyed yarn. It's I think it's a 75-25 merino nylon blend, and then obviously with the fluff as well. So that's, keep that in there with that one. So I'll continue with that little bit until I get right to the end, and then join in the Drops Alpaca Silk in with it to finish the toe. And I've got no excuse not to get on with that now. Right. And I tried to look this up as well. Annette, so your purchase history only goes back so far. I wish it went all the way back, because then I could check what I've bought and where it was from. But I bought this off Etsy. I think it was Sheep on It gets me, and Sheep in Jumpers gets me. Mine, to be honest with you, I do now tend to buy Emma ball bags, because I think this was like £13.50, and I don't think you can go wrong at that price. You know, these are in the 20s, £30. It's nice, you know, it is a bit heavier and a bit lined, but this one does equally well. It does the job for a project bag. And I think I got this one, no doubt, from Ange of Yarn and Yarns. She stocks the Emma Ball range in her shop, online shop, Yarn and Yarns and podcast. And this is the Sheep in Jumpers. and I think these are really good value for money. So right, he shove this lot back in there. It doesn't seem to be that needle that's broken. That one looks fine. It's going to be the hunt now of which needle's broken, and I'll show you what I'm on about. That down there, that over there. I found this on the carpet just now when I was putting things in here to podcast with. I found this, which I am sure is off a needle. Looks like that's the end that connects to the wire, and there should be a knitting needle in there. So it's not a good sign, is it? No doubt it will come to life. You can feel the little ridge there where the one end is slightly thinner than the other end. So I can't see what else it can be. It looks exactly like the connection of a circular needle. The hunt will be on to find out where that's come from. Right, so that's my sock. That's that page done. Let's turn over to the next page. Okay, the one I don't like knitting on, which I've dragged out the cupboard after I spoke about it in the last podcast. I thought I really must pull it out and make myself knit on it, which is the cowl for my niece. I'll be over here, and it's this beast, the big beastie. It's huge. So it's like brioche, but that's the join, which isn't so. It's not too bad. You can see where the working yarns are. That's the inside. That's the join. Put that to the back. We can't see it. It's going to be absolutely enormous when it's finished, because it's it's huge now, but it's one of those that you wrap round twice, and it's all like massive. It's just going to be so much fabric, but it's the pattern she picked, and I can't find the pattern. I printed it off in somewhere, but I've got it on my Ravelry, so I can just look up the pattern again, print it off again. It's the Illusionist Infinity Scarf by Alexandra Tavel. It's like travel without the R. But this yarn, I mean, it's going to be nice and squishy to wear, and comfy around your neck and warm. But on the needles, I just don't like it. It's Lion Brand. Find out. Yeah, it's a chunky, so it's a number 5 yarn, and it's the Hue and Me. It says 2 of Wands, Hue and Me. I think there's a range of Hue and Me yarns out. What will you make? Yeah, so number 5. And this one is Desert, and this one, so it's sort of black and cream or beige, whatever you want to call it. And this one's called Werewolf, and this one is number 152, and Desert is 099. But it's just to knit. Everybody's different. I would much rather knit with a very rustic yarn than knit it. I mean, like I said, it doesn't feel too bad like that, and I think round her neck it's going to be cozy and warm to wear. it's just on the needles, and through my fingers it's squeaky. And no, I wouldn't buy it again myself, but then a lot of people wouldn't like to knit with some of the rustic yarns that I like. Plutalope, I can knit with that no problem at all. I like Plutalope. I've got 2 jumpers in it, but it is rustic. So yeah, I need to push on and finish it for her, because she lives in Belgium, and there's always an overcoat holder there. It gets slightly warmer in the summer and slightly colder in the winter, and their weather is very similar to us because we're on the same sort of latitude. We're in the same line. I'm so clever, so bright. So yeah, I think she'd be grateful for that, especially as both her daughters ride, and stood outside watching them on ponies most weekends. That she needs them to keep her warm. Yeah, I've got to stop making excuses and get on with it. I should have started on it a bit sooner, really. She could do with it now, but she'll be home at Christmas. I can get it finished and give it to her then. So anyway, that's enough of that one. Oh, and it's on 9mm needles, which again, I'm not enjoying. I prefer to use thinner needles these days. They just feel easier and lighter in my hands and great big chunky. Even though everything knits up faster on big needles, they're not so comfy for me in my hands. So that's that one. And I brought down my my Kerr to show, because I was saying last time about Rebecca's what's the word I want? Her design and her shaping that she gets with things. It's simple, or it looks simple, but the fit is really good. And this one for me, it fits me and suits me to a T. This one, you know, you've got a decent bit on the neck at the back, and it sits nicely. And I mean, it's so clever. Yeah, the way it all lines up. It's just lovely being able to knit a pattern and not having to think, and it just all come in nicely together. And again, I think the only thing I did with this one was make it a bit longer than it said in the pattern. I tried it on and kept going till it was comfortable length for me. In fact, if I did another one, I might make it slightly longer again. But like I said, she gets the shaping and the design, if that's the right. Yeah, it does. So I do recommend Rebecca's patterns. I suppose, again, it's quite a personal thing, isn't it? And trying to design for everybody when all our bodies are shaped. Some people are bigger on the shoulders than others, and yeah, some people are just, we're all different. And this one I knit in merino on the comb from Woolyknits. Yeah, merino wool, Azul, A-Z-U-L, Azul. So it's like a navy blue. And the colour number, I think it's the colour number, is 1202. It's a nice navy. Fluff off something else in that one. And this I held 2 strands together, so I held it double. I just wound some off, worked some from the cone and some from a ball, so I could hold 2 strands together. And the same with this one. because I think it's a double knit pattern. I never ever gauge swatch. I've never have. I've knitted for donkey's years, and I've only learned about gauge swatching since watching YouTube in the last couple of years, and I've never ever. I just measure as I go. I know when I'm knitting something, whether it's looking too big or too small, and I alter accordingly. But I have, like I said, I have never done a gauge swatch in my life. Maybe I've been lucky, I don't know, but what I've made has fitted how I want it to fit. So I've never had, the only time I had a disaster, which wasn't really a disaster, it came up bigger than I wanted, was with a crochet jumper, but I didn't like it anyway. I don't like the crochet jumper. I love crochet blankets, but not jumpers. And that's the only time I had where it came out quite a bit bigger. But not with knitting. Anyway, again, I'm waffling. So the pink is the British wool rose mix, and that's 1038. And I do like the yarns from Woolyknits. It goes a long way, those cones. So that's one of my favourites that I would be tempted to knit another one in a different colour. But then, yeah, I've got quite a few of her others. I want to do the cargill jumper. I have got quite a few. I want to do another cardigan. Quite a few things I want for my wardrobe. So that is that. And oh, my grandson's jumper that I showed you last time. I finished that one last night. It's all stitched up, ready to go. Oh, is it something stuck in the yarn? So I know in the dark colour it's not so easy to see the detail. And the bottom, I do like that rib. It's cute, isn't it, with the cable. The only thing I did on this was I didn't do the full pattern at the top of the sleeve. I just did a little bit of just reversed and did the purl bumps. You're supposed to do this pattern, but the sleeve was long enough. It's too, he was I don't know, I think he was measuring he was measuring 10 inches on his arm when I held the jumper up because it's a drop shoulder. He was measuring 10 inches for his sleeve, and this one's is 12. So I stopped it there because I thought otherwise it's going to be, and if it does grow that way, he's not going to want the sleeves hanging off the ends of his hands. But it's still long enough, I think, because it's going to be an oversized jumper on him. Not too big, but he can wear it as an outside, you know, over another jumper even, instead of a coat. And I think you'll get next year out of it as well. So yeah, you can see the detail better in that light. I'm pleased with it, whether he will be, because it's not blue. And if not, otherwise I'll keep it for our Kobe, the youngest baby, and hope that he likes it. And I cast on, that one came off, and I cast on one in the pink. So I just started this last night doing the ribbon, and this yarn feels nice on the needles. And this is the James C. Bret Aztec. I've had this quite a while. I haven't checked to see if they still do it. Aran with alpaca. It's 90% acrylic, 10% alpaca. But this one doesn't feel squeaky. It feels very soft. so hopefully it'll be all right for them, because oh, especially my oldest granddaughter, she won't put anything on. It prickles, it prickles. I tried to put my Carol on her the other day because she was cold. It's prickly. Oh dear, kids, don't you love them? So that's that. What else? I think I've done everything. Yeah, this is what I brought this in to show you, and then I didn't. So yeah, I mean, you probably all know Drops Flora and Kid Silk, Drops Kid Silk. That's what this is done in these two all together. Put those over there, and then acquisitions. Oh, in case anybody didn't see last time, my grandson's jumper is this one here, out of Sirdar. Now I had to get this one. It's an old book, but I found it on Etsy. So it's that pattern, which I like enough to, I want to do one for the girls now. Which one will grab it? Probably Betty, because it'll be her brother having the other one. And then lovely Anne from Spa Knits podcast was destashing some of her yarn, and I can't help but jump on a destash. Everybody loves a bargain, and I think, like all of us, we buy yarn to knit with, but we also buy yarn that we think is pretty, with no clue of what we're going to knit with it at all, and it sits there for a while, and you either decide to pass it on or to keep it. And I think Anne decided to part with some of hers, probably to buy other things with, like most of us do. And I must say, I'm pleased, very pleased with these. It's lovely. So I'm pleased that Anne decided to part with this. There was a couple of others I wanted, but I wasn't quick enough. And this one, Cosmic Strings, inspired yarn, merino singles, hand dyed in Edinburgh. It's Etsy shop, knit Cosmic Strings, and this colour is called Toasted Almond. Don't have a clue if they're still making yarn. I didn't look it up before, but if they are, then it's on Etsy according to this, knit Cosmic Strings. So I don't know what this is going to be yet. It's get it up the right way. God, even with my glasses on now, my arm's not long enough. 100% superwash merino, 4-ply fingering sock. It says sock yarn. Don't know whether superwash merino, would it be tough enough for socks on its own? I could hold it with a bit of mohair to give it some strength. Don't know whether anybody out there know better than me whether 100% merino would be hard wearing enough for socks. Normally they've got a bit of acrylic in them. But I don't know, it might become a cowl, I think. It'll either become a bit of colour work in something, or a cowl, or a hat. But for now it's just a pretty that I like to look at. and I do like this. I'm not really a lover of speckling, but I do like the speckling in this one. So anyway, that's that one, and I got these two as well, which is don't think I've had Cascade, this Cascade 220 fingering before. I've had Cascade yarns, but I don't think I've had this actual one. Cascade 220 fingering, and these are 50 grams, I believe. Yeah, 50 grams, 100% Peruvian Highland wool, 50 grams and 273 yards, 250 meters, hand wash, made in Peru. And again, I think this will probably be a hat or a cowl, or put into something else, but I like the colour and it was a bargain. So that was my acquisitions. I also bought some DPNs, trying to get myself the sizes in DPNs. I've got quite a few now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I need to go to bed, I think. What was I going to say then? Oh, the DPNs. I've got quite a few, but they're never the right size, are they? So I thought, right, I'm going to try and build up my my stash of DPNs and fill in the gaps of the sizes I haven't got. I'm not bothering getting the big sizes, just the up to 4.5 maximum sizes in DPNs. I've actually got 5s already, just so that they hear that, yeah, if I want to cast on something with them or use them, you know, the top of a hat or socks or whatever, it's just, well, they're always handy, you know, to have ready so that I can just get on with what I'm doing. Nothing more frustrating, I think, than when you're doing something, you need to change the DPNs and you haven't got the size required, and then you've got to wait. And so I'm trying to add to those. So I bought Anne from Yarn and Yarns. I always try and shop local if I can. She didn't have them in stock, but she ordered them in for me in the Symphony, I think, the Knit Pro Symphony. I quite like those, the coloured wooden DPNs. So I didn't bring them in to show you, but I think the 4.5 is the only one they didn't have in stock, so I'm just waiting on that one, and then I'll have the sizes in the small ones that I'll have. And then just, dogs are barking again. I hope nobody's coming to the door. I didn't hear the gate. Probably a squirrel in the garden. Right, so anything else to tell you? I don't think so. So I think if you're listening, thank you for listening to me waffle on. I think I've covered everything. I'm going to try my best now to do the show notes, so there'll be something written underneath, hopefully. Fingers crossed I can do that this time. I think I had some of the settings wrong last time, and I've tried to correct those. So I got a couple of likes last time, which I was thrilled. So if you care to click the like button, and if you want to throw me no end, then click the subscribe button. That'll make me really chuffed. And hope you're knitting on. By all means, talk to me, leave messages, comments, tell me what you're knitting on, give me ideas of other things I can go looking at patterns and probably putting in my queue of things I want to knit. Tell me what you're knitting on, what yarns you like to knit with. Are you a lover of chunky yarns and big needles? Are you more of an acrylic person or a woolly wool person, or do you like both? Yeah, talk to me. I don't have anybody to talk yarn to at home, so talk to me, please. Anyway, I shall shut up and leave you all for now, and hopefully be back for episode 3. So take care. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.